I think I'll do last speech.
Also, responding to what the woman keeps saying, because they keep saying that we should prepare for bioterrorism attacks. You can't identify something that's not there yet. It's physically impossible to prepare for something that hasn't happened because you don't know what you're preparing for. And Judge, you should vote for us because when the economy collapses, bioterrorism attacks might actually happen. This means extinction. If we go through with APP's plan, it would create increased risk of bioterrorism attacks happening, meaning that countries will have nationwide tension with U.S. and will target them at their vulnerability. And moreover, first, we outweigh our probability. A small fire is crashing. The small fire crashing is basically guaranteed. As based on our past events, America is extremely vulnerable to economic collapses. And as we mentioned in the first speech, there will be evident disruption in stability. Therefore, the probability is high. Second magnitude, because carrying on an APP plan means extinction due to diseases and stock market crashes, and we don't support it. Therefore, we solve. Lastly, time for stocks are already not doing great currently, which means we shouldn't be risking our state, or else U.S. might be another Great Depression. So, Judge, do you really want to vote for a team that supports nationwide poverty and extinction? Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna need all the prep.
Okay.
Is this the last speech?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Use all of it.
That's your prep.
Already time?
Yep.
Right. Wait a second. All right. I think I'm done. Okay. So first, they argued that a single payer healthcare system will trigger another Great Depression. This is extraordinary. This is an extraordinary claim because they have presented no economic mechanism or credible evidence to actually support it. Even though they basically numerous developed economies, including Canada, Taiwan, the United Kingdom, and Australia, operate universal or single-payer healthcare systems without collapsing into depression. Economic downturns are caused by complex factors such as financial crises, trade disruptions, and monetary instability, not simply because a government provides healthcare. Second, they claim that corruption will cause healthcare funds to be misused. Corruption is a governance issue, not a flaw unique to single-payer healthcare. Every system, including private insurance, is vulnerable to fraud and abuse. In fact, private healthcare systems experience billions of dollars in insurance fraud every year. The solution is stronger oversight, transparent auditing, and strict accountability, not denying healthcare to everyone because corruption might occur. Finally, they argue that bioterrorism is not happening, so we should not prepare for it. This reason is fundamentally flawed. We prepare for earthquakes before they happen. We maintain fire departments before our homes catch fire. We vaccinate before disease spreads. Responsible governments prepare for low probability but high impact events because waiting until disaster strikes costs lives. History has shown that biological attacks have occurred and new infectious threats continue to emerge. Prepared healthcare systems protect society whether the emergency comes from nature or from human actions. At its core, this debate is about ensuring that every single person has access to healthcare and not talking about economic extinction or something. A single-payer system reduces financial barriers, improves access to essential care, and strengthens national preparedness for public health emergencies. The opposition has offered speculation in worst-case scenarios without sufficient evidence. We have presented practical solutions supported by real-world examples. And plus, basically, this is why we respectfully urge you to vote for us. Is there more?
You have 30 seconds.
I think that's it, yeah.
Okay. Real quick feedback. First, on advantage one by the affirmative. Oh, right. Reminder, everyone, it's not contention, it's an advantage. It's different from public forum. It's different. Also, the other side is either called the app or the knife. You don't call them the opposition. That's also different.
Whatever.
And first, on bioterrorism, the argument should be national health insurance means more people get healthcare, right? And if more people get healthcare, that means you can afford it to go to the hospital. So every time you get a disease, you go to the hospital, right? And
Yeah, I talked about that.
Yeah, you explained that. That's good. I was saying it to everyone because I think there's a bit of misconception. If everyone goes to the hospital, you find out, oh, there's a same disease. But you wouldn't have known if they didn't go to the hospital, right? So that is the thing you're preventing. And so the argument from the night that's saying you don't know what to prepare for, you're not actually preparing against the disease. You're preparing to detect it. You want to detect it. That's why you can prepare. The part about like health insurance connecting to detecting bioterrorism, that was explained in the 1AR, which is a bit late, but I'll count it because I feel like this is the first time we've debated this topic, and it's fine. Also, in the first speech, you kind of cut him. You guys decided to cut off the advantage before you explained the link. So that was really unclear up until the 1AR. So next you should just let him finish it because you did have time. You just finished it. So whether or not biotourism exists is not really the most important point here. What the negative should have gone for was that there was no link, because until the rebuttal speeches, there wasn't a single link, so you can just say like he can't prove it because they didn't read evidence about that. But since you guys decided to focus on biotourism, then for this argument, I would say that they're more convincing because they provide specific evidence on like where biotourism exists, and you guys just continuously say that it just doesn't exist without providing like contrary evidence, so I can't really count that in. Moving on to the not yet. Moving on to the job loss argument. This is a good argument. The one in there accidentally conceded the fact that jobs provide health insurance, and therefore that says jobs are a lot, but it's not that major of an argument because it wasn't explained that well, so I think I'll take biotourism more into account when I'm considering your offense. Moving on to stock market crash, you guys forgot to answer it in the 1AR. You have to answer it, you didn't answer it, so that means from the 2NC all the way to the 2NR, it was your argument and you didn't respond it, so that was just dropped. And you responded in the last speech, but it doesn't count. You can't make new answers in the last speech. Moving on to pharma, your argument about the USFG using 19% of R&D. You're saying that the United States government allocates 19% of its budget to research and development, right? And that's why you still have money. But the argument here is that because we have NHI, right? With national health insurance, medicine is set at a certain price. That means pharmaceutical companies, so private companies, do not have money to conduct R&D. That has nothing to do with the government budget. It's not the government giving money. It's the pharmaceutical companies getting money from the consumers. So that wasn't a good argument, but at the same time, they didn't extend it either, so this argument just doesn't count. Too much healthcare. The benefits, the homeless, and the last stretch on like how we want to make sure everyone has healthcare. That's a good answer. Making more hospitals doesn't cost money. That's kind of like bullshit. You guys all know it, but no one gave any evidence, so I'll just ignore that. So ultimately, I'm just weighing stocks against biotourism, and I think for me, stock, it wasn't explained as well. Like you had it in your first speech, but afterwards you didn't like continuously state it. So I'm gonna go A for this one. Although I think these two arguments are pretty evenly weighted, and in order for Nick to win this debate, you should probably start every speech. If you decide that you want to go for stocks, then every speech you can start with kind of like a short explanation of your argument so that I remember what it is. That's all. You can go. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you.